Okay, so it's 10 o'clock, so I'm going to make a start just in case I don't want to go over time too much. So welcome, Marco and Ramon. I know there's a few more people that will probably join us. If not, they will get a recording of the webinar. So thank you so much for joining me today. So I will make a start. There we go. Stacey's joining us as well. Hi, Stacey. How are you? All right. So I'm just sitting in a room where there's no noise. So there's no desk either. So it's just on my lap. So hopefully I won't be too wonky. All right. So today's webinar is going to be on personal branding. So I will be focusing a lot on obviously social media and the importance of having a personal brand online as well as offline. But I'll share with you kind of my strategies, I guess, for, getting a brand, personal brand out there. I think more and more people are now starting to really understand the importance of having, your own personal brand. It's not just your company, but it's also the person behind the company. And even though a lot of, directors and CEOs and high level kind of employees tend to not want to always be in the spotlight, it is becoming more and more, I guess, needed in businesses today to showcase who the people are, who the culture is, and the personal brand. One of the mottos that I always live by in business is people buy people before people buy things, and that couldn't be more true today than ever, because that's what people are connecting with. If you have 10 people all offering the same service or the same product, you're going to probably choose the person that you connect with the most to, do business with. So, and I guess this is what personal branding is today. It's how does that translate to the digital world? Because this is where a lot of people are being able to find us today. So I'll get into the presentation now, but before I do start, I just want to inform you, if you haven't already had any advisory through Business Station, so through the ASBAS program. So obviously today's webinar is brought to you by Business Station as part of the ASBAS program, which stands for Australian Small Business Advisory Services. So if you haven't already taken advantage of the government subsidised consultations and webinars, which obviously today's one of your webinars, I highly recommend. It's a great thing to speak to an advisor to help you with your business. You get 3 one-on-one hours with advisors. So I am an advisor myself. So if you haven't already had an advisor and would like to, have a consult with myself to help you with your business, more than happy to book you in February. So yeah, if you do have any questions at the end of today's webinar and you do need a bit more of that one-on-one coaching and consulting, let me know in the chat and I will forward your details to Rachel, who will then call you and book you in. But it is really good, obviously, as well, having someone to assist you with your business in more further detail after today's webinar. So I'll make a start. And yeah, if there's any questions, definitely check out the website, businessstation.com.au. Alternatively, you can always send me an email or a message. So I'll just open up the presentation now. Okay, so like I mentioned, today's workshop, it's going to be personal branding. So what is personal branding? How do we grow our personal brand? And I'm going to focus a little bit on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is obviously a social networking platform. Let me just start from slideshow from the beginning. Cool. So personal branding. So a little bit about myself. So I am a business owner myself. I've had my own company, Savvy Creations PR and Perth Copywriting. I started the company 6 years ago now, which is 6 years. Wow, it feels like it was yesterday actually, but 6 years. Social media strategist. So I work with a lot of businesses, helping them, with their social media and how do we get found? How do we become the authority of our industry? That's really key. What differentiates you? I'm sure every, product and service out there, there's many products and services out there that offer the same thing as we do. So what makes someone come to us opposed to our competitor? So that's really important about creating a unique selling proposition and, who are you, what do you do, what do you offer, and why should customers come to you? I'm also a business consultant, obviously through ASBAS. I've consulted thousands upon thousands of clients. I've actually been with Business Station as an advisor for the Commonwealth program for about 4 years now, 4.5. So pretty much when I started my business, I got offered to do advisory as well, which has been really fantastic, because the good thing about it is that it's given me such an insight into businesses. And I mean, every single business you could name, I've probably had some degree of, consultation with them. So yeah, all the way from corporate to startup, small businesses from home, retail, you name it, I've probably worked with them. So it's really good because it's given me such an in-depth I guess look into the world of business and the different issues people face. And the one thing I have come to realize is that there's a commonality with all businesses, whether you're a startup from your house, you're working in your garage, or whether you're a multi-million-dollar business. Everyone tends to have the same issues, believe it or not, which is lead generation, employee retention, clients satisfaction, a revenue, cash flow. It's all the same, just on a bigger scale. Obviously, the bigger the business, it's actually sometimes the bigger the problem. So the smaller the business, sometimes the smaller the problem. So it's really great because it has given me such a great insight into the world of business and lots of different industries. So yeah, if you do have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me after today's webinar, or alternatively, you can also book a consult. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is personal branding, right? We're hearing this a lot, personal branding, personal branding. One person that does it quite good, whether you like his style or not, is Gary Vee. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Gary Vee, but he has a pretty full-on style, but he's very good with personal branding. He's got this huge marketing agency called VaynerMedia, but really that's not as known. I mean, it's a huge multi-international company, but really it's Gary Vee who owns VaynerMedia. It's not VaynerMedia run by Gary Vee. So he's the personal brand that's then built, because by creating a personal brand, I've got a few questions here. He's amazing. Grant Cardone is really good as well, Ramon. Most people, even Elon Musk, I mean, he's got a personal brand, so it's that they create. Tony Robbins, like, I love Tony Robbins. Once again, everyone has their own opinion about people out there. I love Tony Robbins. Once again, he is the brand, but under Tony Robbins there's numerous brands under them, right? So you kind of become the top tier of your company, right? When you have a loyal following, when you create fans, when you create people, generally people will then be inclined to listen to you, to take advice from you, to sign up to your programs, to buy your products, to engage your services and all the rest. So that's where personal branding is. It's creating kind of like a fan base almost. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, for some reason, Gary Vee always pops to mind when I think of personal brand, because he's done such an incredible job. And, I love him. I think he's great. I think he speaks his mind. Some people think he's too full on, that doesn't suit their style, but that's okay, because to him, he knows his followers are his loyal followers, right? So I think when we talk about personal branding, we have to take into consideration that we can't be everything to everyone, and we shouldn't want to be everything to everyone. We need to, create a brand that is going to align with our values and with our clients. So I think the best thing I can say in that is, don't try and please everybody, because you'll never be able to do that. Then I'm going to talk about tips on developing your personal brand, the importance of having a personal brand, the keys to success in personal branding, and how to create a strong personal brand online. So today I actually just did a post a few minutes ago, just before I started the webinar, on LinkedIn, about what's trending. And, today we communicate online. This is how people find us. And I know there's an increase, about, online and mental health, and 100%. But at the end of the day, whether we like social media, whether we like the online world or not, we can't deny the fact that it's here to stay, and it's just going to keep going, getting bigger and bigger and more important. So I think the key is to understand what your brand is, what you stand for, and how you can best utilize these online platforms to showcase who you are. And the thing is, you don't need to spend hours and upon hours and actually being online. You just need to have a really clear strategy in place and do what you need to do and then leave it. If you go, oh, I don't want to scroll all day, you don't have to, by all means. It's all about how strict you are with your time and how clear you are with what your brand is and what message you're trying to convey to your public. So let's go next. So what does personal branding mean to you? So, obviously if I was in a workshop, I'd be able to get an answer, but, I guess to me, when I think personal branding, it's how do people perceive you? Right. So it's kind of like PR. So, I mentioned before my background is journalism and public relations, and PR, personal branding, is a part of PR. So it's the first thing that comes to mind when someone thinks of you. So, if we take, for example, Gary Vee or Elon Musk or, Richard Branson, for example, from Virgin, like, what is their personal brand? What are the top things that come to mind when we think about them? So that is a part of publicity. That is a part of PR. That is a part of your overall arching brand. You can have the most amazing company, but if you've got a really bad personal brand, chances are very high that this is going to have some sort of negative impact on your company, right? So think about, what does personal branding mean to you? And what are the top things you want people to think when they think of you? When someone says, who do we have here? Let me just check participants. We've got Ramon, or Marco or Stacy. What are the top things that people think when they think of when they say, oh, Marco, what are the top keywords or the top 5 things that you want people to think of when they think of you? Think about that, right? And this is something you obviously don't have to do now, but maybe later today or in the next couple of days. Tomorrow's public holiday, great time to work on your business. Write down 5 or 10 words or keywords that you really want people to know you for. So, like Elon Musk would be innovation, for example, sustainability, whatever. So think about, what are the words that you want people to associate with you, right? And it's really important. And you might think, I don't know, like this, that, but it's really important, because what that's going to do is all your messaging is going to become more and more clear, right? There's going to be a consistency in your messaging when you go, what, does this align with my personal brand? Because everything else you do is based on your personal brand. So personal branding is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of an individual by positioning them as an authority in the industry, elevating their credibility and differentiating themselves from their competition to ultimately advance their career, increase their circle of influence, and have a larger impact. Right. So very similar to kind of what I said before, it's PR. It's basically your personal PR. You've got company PR and then you've got personal PR. Personal branding is your personal PR. And, it's really what the first thing, and it's not just about what you put on social media either. It's about how you talk. One of the things that I find with personal branding, it has to be consistent across all platforms, both online and offline. You can have the most amazing online personal brand, but then offline you're not professional, you're not, your personal brand doesn't align online as it does offline, you lose credibility, right? You lose brownie points. So you might got to make sure that you're being authentic to yourself. You're not trying to become somebody that you're not. I think that is really big, and I think more and more people are now starting to relate and engage with people that are showcasing their authentic personal brand. And also you need to keep this personal brand consistent. It's not just online, it's offline, it's on your Google, it's on your Google reviews, it's in your marketing collateral, it's at your presentations, it's in your workshops, in your webinars. So everything you do must align with this personal brand. So a few tips to developing your personal brand. So have a focus, be genuine, tell a story, be consistent. It's okay to fail, create a positive impact, follow a successful example, and live your brand. So that kind of all encapsulates what I've just mentioned before. But just, I think we spend a lot of time going, oh, what is my personal brand? And, it's like that saying, be yourself, everybody else is taken. I think the true power to creating a really strong personal brand is really, it's like peeling an onion. You unpeel these layers and layers of, who we not pretend to be, but who we kind of, it's scary putting yourselves out there sometimes, because you become vulnerable, especially when it's in the digital world. There's lots of keyboard warriors and people can say all sorts of things. So you've got to almost unpeel the layers of who you are and really get out there and showcase who you are. You'd be surprised how much people actually will engage, will interact, will comment, will be more likely to want to work with you when you really showcase that. So be genuine, and tell your story. I did a post not long ago on LinkedIn, and I do this kind of post every, say, 6 or 7 months. It's about, who I am, what got me here, and I'll see if I can actually find the post. But things like that get such, and it's not just about, hey, I got a lot of likes, but it actually creates genuine engagement with people, and you become a real human to people, right? So I think it's more and more important now than ever to really showcase that online. So I'll actually see if I can find that post, just so I can show you what I mean. Let's have a look. Where are we? Share screen. Okay, so I'll just quickly go to that. All right, so this one here, this was the post that I did. Okay, so just to give you a glimpse of kind of what I mean by, by telling a story and by showcasing the real you. So today I wanted to share a few things about myself that you may not know. As part of building your business and your brand, you need to become a bit more vulnerable in order to show people your true self. And one of my highest values in business is authenticity. So here it goes. I'm originally from Serbia. I came to Australia when I was 5 years old as the war was breaking out in Serbia. I am one of 3 children, middle child syndrome. I have a 2-year-old daughter, blah, 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 blah. Before starting my business 5 years ago, I was actually made redundant. My favorite food is chocolate. One of my mottos in business is people buy people. So as you can see, I showed who I was, right? And, you do unpeel those layers kind of, oh, okay, saying, hey, I got made redundant. It's not really the most comfortable thing in the world, but the thing is the engagement that you get, the people's feedback, and also the interaction of, people going, hey, this is a real human being. It's amazing, right? So just that one post that I did, right, it had 29,000 views, right? 29,000, you can see here, 29,435 views. Now, if you think about, like, to have that many views, people pay, hundreds of thousands of dollars to go into newspapers, into TV, into this and that. That was completely free, right? And I'm not saying just do, all these kind of posts just to get more likes and engagement. That's not what it's about. But this just showcases that, this is what people are craving. This is the kind of content that people crave, because, proof is in the pudding. When the engagement is that high, then it shows that people are actually engaging with the post, which means that people like that post, right? So that's just an idea of a post where we showcase our personal brand. It doesn't have to be, your dirty laundry or whatever, but it just showcase a little bit more of who you are and get more real and get more authentic. You will find more and more people are actually going to connect with that. Okay, so we'll go back to the presentation. Okay, so I guess, I would love for you to, whether it's today, and, Tuesdays are actually the best day to post on LinkedIn if you want to do LinkedIn. I would actually urge you to do a post sometime this week similar to that. So something along the lines of, this is who I am, why I started my business, what I love, why I love doing what I do, something like that. It doesn't obviously have to be like my one, but try and outline at least, 2 or 3 things, such as, why you do what you do, what your background is, just like a reintroduction of yourself to your connections, to your followers online. Okay, so why is it important to have a personal brand? So personal branding is important because it helps give a person more credibility. So it's never been more competitive to land a new job or earn a paycheck. With more people building personal brands, you need to put yourself out there to get noticed. So when I talk about social media, and obviously, personal branding, one of the biggest ways we can build our personal brand is social media. When I talk about social media and when I talk about content and, how much content, what kind of element of content we should be posting, 80% of the content that you post on social media needs to be educational, inspirational, conversational, right? So, and the reason I say that is that that's what builds credibility. That's what builds authority, right? If you're trying to sell, I can tell you right now, it's not going to get you huge engagement. It's not going to get you a huge amount of followers. That's not what people are too savvy now to want to be sold to, right? So the best way for you to build your business and build your personal brand is by becoming the educator of your industry, of your product, or of your service, right? So when we talk about content, 80% needs to be educate, share information, share insights, share knowledge, become the educator. And then 20% is promotional. So you might have some, free course you want people to download. You might have a PDF you want to share, whatever. But the more content that you share around your subject matter and expertise, the more you are going to position yourself as the authority of that industry. So I really stress that a lot, because that is what is going to differentiate you. That is what's going to make you stand out, and that is what's going to get people knocking on your door asking for your products or your services when you are giving information on that topic. And I once had someone say to me, Sandra, aren't you scared you're giving away free content and free resources? Absolutely not, because the return is honestly tenfold on what you get. So, once again, I'll go back to my LinkedIn after and show you guys and give you a bit of an idea in terms of, the kind of content that I share and how to build your personal brand. But really, really important to do that. And one of the other things, I'm not sure if I've got it in the slides here, but one of the biggest things that I recommend for you all is to get a professional photo shoot, right? And you might think, Sandra, I don't have a face for photos. I don't like videos and all the rest. I get it. No one really likes, well, not no one. A lot of people love being in front of the camera, but a lot of people feel uncomfortable. It's awkward, but I can almost guarantee you right now that if you have professional photos, even 10 or 20 photos a year, that's all you need. It is going to elevate your brand to another level, right? More than ever, videos and photos it's huge. It's huge. There's no point. You can have, the best content, but you need images to accompany the content. So if I was to, say what is one of the best investments you can make to increase your personal brand, honestly, it's photos, it's images, it's going to give you content for your social media. It's going to give you content for your marketing collateral. It's going to give you content for your website. It is one of the best investments you will actually make. I used to think, I don't need a photo shoot. iPhones are great. But the difference that it's made having professional photos compared to iPhone photos is huge. So please, if you can, if you can't invest in your own business, how can someone else invest in your own business? I can't stress enough how much of a difference it's honestly made to me having like professional photos done. And I'm not talking about, just a headshot professional photo. I'm talking about, create some scenes for your business. So you might be having a coffee with a client, you might be working on the job, you might be installing a product, you might be whatever it is that you do, right? Think about 10, scenarios in your day-to-day job and get a photographer to come and capture those scenarios. It is invaluable. Just the quality, and it elevates your brand as well. If you think, not a lot of people, it's starting to become a bit more trendy now, but a lot of people still aren't investing in their own kind of business and their personal brand online. So be ahead of that, become the trend. Don't follow, start the trend. So do that, because you will find that the level of professionalism that your business will then have is really second to none. It's definitely, I've noticed, I started getting professional photos about a year and a bit ago, and it's completely changed. And also even it's changed the caliber of people I'm attracting clients because it is more professional. So highly recommend that. Okay. So keys to success in personal branding. So we've got identify your key brand attributes. So what's your unique selling proposition? Articulate what differentiates you from the others, but don't put others down. I think that's really important. not to put other people down. If you're trying to build your personal brand, build it by focusing on the positive things that your business, your service, or your product offers, rather than putting other people down. Understand your unique strengths, effective networking techniques to promote your personal brand. So personal brand, like I said, it's not just social media, it's offline as well. It's when you meet people, it's when you greet people, it's when you talk to people, it's when you're holding a workshop. Whatever you do, you must, your personal brand needs to be consistent with everywhere. It's how you dress, how you present yourself. All of that plays a part in the big scheme of things, which is your personal brand. Create your brand slogan. So you might not have a slogan. I think it's good to have a slogan because it kind of encapsulates everything that you do under that slogan. It's kind of like Nike, just do it, right? Everything we think of, just do it. It's Nike. So think about that. Another really important thing is have an elevator pitch, right? So the reason I say this is when one of the strongest things to building a strong personal brand is actually consistency, right? So the more consistent you are with your messaging, with your, with your photos, with your images, with your online and offline, presence, is having that consistency. So having an elevator pitch when you meet people, when someone goes, hey, what do you do? Obviously you've got a loose elevator pitch, but I would actually highly urge you to work on a really strong elevator pitch and try and memorize it as much as you possibly can, because that is going to become your sales pitch in a way. When you meet people, and sometimes when you meet people at a networking event or somewhere, might not be, in the same mindset. You might think, oh, hey, I do, social media. So it's not as strong. But if you've got an elevator pitch, it will make the, it will make it a lot stronger. So think about spending, half an hour to an hour today, this week, going, what is my elevator pitch? When I meet a client online or offline, how do I introduce myself? What problems am I solving? Right? The only reason someone will ever hire us is because we do something that they can't do. We have something they don't have, right? Every successful business is a solution to someone else's problem. So what are the top 3 problems that we solve for businesses, and how can we incorporate those problem-solving tactics into our elevator pitch, right? Because that's why people purchase things. That's why people hire us to do things. It's because we're doing something, we're solving a problem, we're saving them money. Whatever it is that your solution is, try and incorporate that into your elevator pitch. Build a powerful and impressive online presence, and don't be afraid to innovate yourself. So online presence, we've got social, we've got Google, we've got your blogs, you've got your website, you've got YouTube is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't already, delved into the world of YouTube, I highly recommend it. YouTube is still one of the leading social media platforms. So think about what your business is, think about what topics you talk about, and try and do, one video every week or 2. It doesn't have to be too long, and upload it onto your YouTube channel. It's just creating another way for people to find you, right? And one of the things that is really important for me to mention is, a lot of people say, don't work in your business, work on your business. We hear it all the time. Oh, this person, you're spending way too much working in your business. You need to focus more on your business. On your business in the 2022 is content creation, right? So content is actually working on your business, right? You might think, no, I need to go to more networking events. Yeah, absolutely. Networking events are very important. You need to meet people face to face, but content creation is actually a big chunk of working on your business today. And that's one thing that I've really started to take notice of and to really work on more. Is it's not just about, posting something. It's about actually creating content, whether it's videos, whether it's photos, whether it's interviews. I the other day met with a guy who specializes in social media in China, right, in the Chinese market. And as I was chatting to him, I thought, oh, I have an idea. I want to interview him, right? And I thought, this is great content, because by me interviewing him, it gives me content that I can then share on my LinkedIn, on my Facebook. A lot of my LinkedIn connections are probably interested how to tap into the China market, right? So by me interviewing this guy, I'm actually giving great valuable educational information to my followers. So, you kind of got to keep that content radar on at all times. But, that's just an example of content creation. It doesn't necessarily have to be you doing it all the time. You can actually interview people that complement your industry that you can then share on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on everywhere else. Okay. What, why, how? So your brand is in the middle of the what, why, how. So the reason why you exist, what your values and your purpose are, what makes you special, your beliefs and point of difference, and the behaviors, how you deliver products and services. So your brand, basically what you stand for, your personal brand, sits in the middle of all of this, right? So once again, and I'm happy to send you these slides as well at the end of the presentation, you sit down and think about, why am I doing what I'm doing? What are my values? What is my purpose? How and what? And then your brand is basically created in the midst of that. So, once again, going back to the working on your business, not just in your business, this is actually working on your business. Spending, an hour a week doing things like this about what's my why? What are my goals? What am I doing? It's so important that clarity in your business and knowing what it is that you do, what you offer is extremely powerful to getting you to the next level. Okay. So the 4 C's of personal branding: clarity. Are you clear? Once again, going back to the clarity, are you clear about your purpose? Why do you do what you do? There are days where business is great and there are days where business is not great, right? So when you are really clear about your purpose and what you do, it holds you up. You might think, oh, I'm doing it because I want to make money, right? So, and I always say, if that's your pure one and only reason to do what you do, just to make money, chances are that when days are not amazing in business, it's going to be a lot harder for you to jump back up than if you have a really strong purpose that's not just about money. So think about, what is it that, why? What's my why? Coherence: if clarity speaks to the substance of your personal brand, coherence is about the style. Within any profession, it is important to look the part. Once again, what's your, do you have a color theme? Like, do you, is your brand red? Is it blue? Is it green? Is it pink? What's your branding? And try and keep that coherent, not just online, but also offline. How you dress, how you talk, how you present yourself, all the rest needs to be coherent in all landscapes. And commitment: without a clear vision of who you want to be and plan for how to get there, there will be inconsistencies. So a few things we're seeing here are consistency, branding, what's your purpose, what's your key messaging, right? So really, really important. And like anything, I saw actually this morning a post by, I think it was Elon Musk. It was like a quote about, I don't know if I've got it here. I don't know if I screenshotted it. No, I didn't. But it was about basically, it might take, you might not see any results in 4 years, but by the 5th year, don't give up. Just got to be consistent with what you do. There's a theory that I absolutely love. It's called the bamboo theory. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the bamboo theory, but what it is basically, and I'll share it with you quickly because I always remember this. So if you're familiar with the bamboo tree, they grow extremely slowly, right? And the reason I say this is kind of how business sometimes can work. Bamboo trees, you've got to water them, and they grow very small. Every year they just grow a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. And, if you're looking at this bamboo tree from afar, you might think, well, this tree, is it even worth me watering it every day? It doesn't seem to be growing. This doesn't seem to be much, happening here. And then all of a sudden, a bamboo tree can shoot up 5 meters overnight, right? So overnight, you've been watering this bamboo tree and overnight it shoots up 5 meters. Business is very similar, right? You might think, oh my God, I'm watering this business. I'm trying to do everything I possibly can. I don't feel like I'm getting the traction. Where are the clients and all the rest, right? But what happens is if you keep watering, keep nurturing, keep watering, keep nurturing, it will definitely grow. Right. The only problem is what happens is people water. They don't see a huge amount of progress and they throw the bamboo in the bin. Right. So we don't want that to happen. We need to keep watering it. We need to keep nurturing it. We need to keep investing in it. Right. So, and by investing is investing in your photos, investing in your content, investing in your people, employers, investing in your clients. Right. It's about giving back for it to come back to you. So that's a really good theory that somebody told me many, many years ago. And, even today, to this day, if you go through a bit of a rocky day, week or month, I'm like, Sandra, bamboo theory. Remember the bamboo theory, just keep watering it. So yeah, keep that in mind if you ever, feel a bit stuck. So important of consistency. So I try and keep, and these are all the professional photos I've had taken. Someone chat. Marco, yes, bamboo theory. I love it. I absolutely love the bamboo theory because, yeah, it makes so much sense. And, it's not just applicable to our professional life, it's actually applicable to every element of our life, whether it's personal, relationships, health, career, spirituality, every element of our life. As we water that bamboo, it will definitely grow. So professional, importance of consistency. So as you can see here, I've got a style. Obviously, I've got a style with Savvy Creations that I use, and I keep this quite consistent throughout my, throughout my social media platforms. I had brochures made up. I don't think I've got any here, but I have brochures made up that I give to my clients now. My business cards. In regards to Facebook, it's more beneficial to keep personal photos off your social media platforms. Ramon just has a quick question. In regards to Facebook and Instagram, is it more beneficial to keep personal photos off your social media platforms? Good question. I think when you say personal photos, do you mean with your family members? Like, I don't post anything on my social media with my family members. Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Yeah. So definitely have your personal. Yeah. So have your personal Facebook and Instagram. I actually don't even have a personal Instagram. I've just got a business one. And I very, very, very rarely will ever post anything unless it's like, from time to time, I'll inject something. Like, for example, if it's, me and my husband a few months ago went down to Albany to do this recording for a client, and he was in the photo with me. And he, so we were both, I said, oh, me and my husband went, did this photo shoot in Albany for the Hilton, So in those kind of instances, you can, if it's work related, but I definitely try and not post anything on my socials that has nothing to do with my work. That is what perfect, because this obscures the image to what you're trying to portray to the public. Perfect, because this obscures your image. Yeah, so exactly. So I think, look, if your husband or your partner or your wife is a part of your business, go for gold. But I definitely think that professional is one image and personal is another image. So you've got your personal. For me, on my personal Facebook, I don't add people I don't know. I will only share things on there like family, whereas my professional, it's professional. It's all about business. It's about content. Completely different. I'm not a completely different person, but I just do not share the same content. I think there's a different language. I think it's a different style. So definitely keep it separate, 100%. Yeah. I mean, once I did do a post where I held my daughter and I said, oh, Savvy Creations has hired a new intern, but I didn't show her face. She was just sitting down pretending to be my new intern. So that was kind of cute, but it was, it wasn't me talking about my daughter. It was still relevant to my business, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was like I had a photo of her sitting at the laptop pretending to work with me. She was about 6-7 months old. So that actually got a lot of likes because it was showing the human element of me, but it was still talking about business. I wouldn't say, hey, we went to, SciTech today, had a great day. Nothing to do with my business at all. So definitely keep them separate. Okay. Yes, you're absolutely welcome. So, okay, so yeah, just talking about consistency when it comes to your brand. So what are the colors? What's the brand? What's the style? What's the feeling? When we like going back to Gary Vee, he's got really bright colors and almost like graffiti-like writing on all his posts. And then, so you've got your own style. So try and keep that quite consistent across all mediums. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn. And look, when I talk about LinkedIn, this is actually quite applicable to your Facebook and your Instagram business pages as well. The reason I'm talking about LinkedIn is because it's business to business, and it's a great platform as well. So this is applicable to Facebook and Instagram in many cases when the content and that. If you do want to find out more about LinkedIn and you go, oh, I really want to delve into the world of LinkedIn more, I am holding a free workshop this Friday in North Beach, which is just on LinkedIn. So if you are available this Friday, go onto the Business Station website and you can book in for free to attend, and it's a face-to-face workshop in North Beach. So if you're available, definitely come down if you want to learn more about LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, it's a social media network site designed specifically for the business community. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to build a LinkedIn personal and business profile. Right, so I'm just going to quickly go to my LinkedIn just to show you, and I'm going to share with you, how to build. So, on LinkedIn, let me quickly go. Stop share, start new share. Okay. And the reason that I've used LinkedIn is because on LinkedIn, for example, I've got Savvy Creations PR is my company. And then there's me, Sandra Tricoli. Right? Whereas on your Instagram and your Facebook, you'll generally just have the business name as your main page. LinkedIn's a bit different. LinkedIn, you've got your personal page, Sandra Tricoli, and then I've got my company page, Savvy Creations. So LinkedIn is a really amazing platform to build your own personal brand as well. And look, you can definitely do this on Instagram and Facebook as well. You can create one, Sandra Tricoli, social media strategist, but I've got my Sandra Tricoli personal one as well. So there's just too many to keep up with. So I wanted to use LinkedIn as an example. Can I just get you guys just really quickly, Marco, Ramon, and Stacey, can you just put in the comments what your business is? So just write in there what your business is, whether it's, real estate, accounting, consulting. Yep. Okay. So Ramon is consulting. Astrology reading. Fabulous. Estimating for construction. Great. Okay. Perfect. So Marco, definitely LinkedIn for you. Astrology reading and facilitation, I would say Facebook and Instagram. And then we've got Ramon is consulting. So also, so definitely. So Indigenous product consulting. Yep. So LinkedIn probably would be a really good one for you as well. So, we've got business to business, but it's having said that, Stacey, LinkedIn is good as well. LinkedIn is professional people that might want, reading and astrology. Everyone's interested in that. So I definitely would not be on LinkedIn. I think it's an amazing platform, for people who are professionals that are wanting to get astrology reading. And the benefit of you being on LinkedIn is that a lot of people in your space aren't on LinkedIn. So it actually differentiates you as well. So definitely do that. But I'm just going to go over kind of personal branding on LinkedIn and what I've done. So definitely LinkedIn is great for you as well. So Sandra Tricoli, and what I'm just really quickly before I forget, a lot of businesses that are just usually Facebook, Instagram kind of businesses are jumping onto LinkedIn now. So that's why I really wanted to talk a little bit about LinkedIn to introduce you to the world of it. But it is an amazing, amazing platform. Once again, like anything, if you're consistent, you post, you comment, you interact, you'll get engagement, you'll get clients. I would say about 20 to 30% of my clients come from LinkedIn. So let's quickly go over a few things that you need to consider when it comes to your personal brand on LinkedIn. So you've got your cover photo. So first of all, you create your LinkedIn profile. Then you've got a cover photo. You've got your profile picture. You've got your, what you do. So I've got Sandra Tricoli. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail because we've only got 15 minutes, and I'm also doing, and I've got a lot of workshops coming up. So if you do want to learn just about LinkedIn, definitely keep an eye out for upcoming workshops, and they're all free, right? So you pay the $40 once off, and everything else is free. So definitely take advantage of that. It's all about upskilling, and I think that's really important when it comes to, talking about personal branding. And literally it's progress, it's learning, it's adapting. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, you still need to some degree be social savvy today to stay ahead of the competition, right? Unless you can afford someone to manage everything for you, not have to worry about a single thing, then maybe you don't have to. But if you go, you know what, I still want to understand, I still want to run my own, then definitely you need to consistently upskill yourself, because these platforms are literally changing like that. TikTok, for example, is becoming huge now. And Stacey, maybe for you as well, TikTok might not be a bad thing as well. So depending on, your demographic, but it's it's definitely a very quickly fast changing landscape out there. Okay, so just a few things when it comes to personal branding. I don't necessarily have to talk you through the steps of LinkedIn, but I want to talk to you about the consistency, right? So when it comes to consistency, I've got my logo, I've got my professional photos, I've got managing director there, right? But then if you have a look at, if I go to my activity, I want to show you kind of post ideas that you should be posting, right? When I say you should be posting, doesn't obviously, talking about your own industry. So see how a lot of my content is very educational. Oops. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a few of my posts to give you an idea. So last year, so I did this one 52 minutes ago, just before we started today's webinar. Last year has been a major year for social media platforms, with more and more businesses making most of the popular sites to boost their brand engagement and revenue. In 2021, and then I talk about what are some of the trends. So what am I doing? I'm educating, right? I'm inspiring, I'm educating. So a few content ideas when building your brand is about sharing educational resources, information, sharing positive testimonials about clients that have worked with you. All this stuff that you share helps create your personal brand, right? So think about testimonials, think about, things that people have said, video content that you do, educational content, all that kind of stuff, products that you've got, services, projects you're working on, all this stuff that you're sharing in the online world assists you with building your personal brand. So this is just an idea. Once again, professional photo shoot. I did that 50 minutes ago. It's had 196 views. It's okay, but could be better. Then I also put hashtags at the bottom. So social media, Perth is okay, Perth business, branding, engagement. So whenever you do a post on LinkedIn or Instagram, Facebook, not so much. Facebook isn't as big on hashtags. Try and put on there hashtags that are going to be relevant to your personal brand. So for example, if you're in construction or if you're in consulting or you're astrology, try and use those keywords in your hashtags. Why? Because chances are your demographic is following those hashtags, right? So B2B, Perth small business and all the rest. Yesterday, I did another post. Are you wanting to use LinkedIn to grow your personal and business profile? I have put together a guide with some tips and tricks. If you would like me to send you a downloadable version, please send me a direct message with your email and I will send it across, right? So this was something that was created. It had 1,188 views. Once again, 10 ways to grow your personal and business LinkedIn on profile. It was a free download PDF that I've created in Canva, right? And people can download it, whatnot. So educational. Okay, another one, the importance of getting Google reviews. Google reviews result, blah, blah, blah. Once again, 60 views, 2,800 views. Sorry, 60 likes, almost 3,000. Then this was Happy 2022. So this was just a nice personal post, 10,000 views. So you can see a lot of my posts, you might think, oh God, Sandra, a lot of posts are about yourself. It's not. They're educational posts. 80 to 90% of those posts are educational. But the reason I add a photo in there is because it's creating my personal brand. If I just put a photo of like a random person, that's fine. You can do that. But it's not going to link up people thinking of your business to you, right? So you've got to try and use as much as possible photos of yourself, of your staff, of your team, of your, that's what is going to help build your personal brand. So that's why I go back to the importance of photos. Really, really important. This was a launch that I did. Obviously, this wasn't a professional photo, but you can see, I'm showcasing things that I've done, projects I've worked on, client testimonials, and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the key things to building your personal brand, is sharing information about your product, about your business, about your industry, about your services, and then aligning your personal brand, which is yourself, to that content, right, that you share into the cyber world. So does that make sense? Does that give you a little bit of an understanding? I'll quickly go back to the presentation, because I just don't know if it's worth me going into too much LinkedIn. I mean, I can. Where are we? Okay. So that's the important information to have on there. So once so I'll go back to the LinkedIn content ideas. So I've shared with you some content ideas in terms of, what you can post, but what works really well on LinkedIn for me anyways, and I think it would work well for you. So there's a few, secrets to success on LinkedIn. One is having a good, strong personal profile, having a good brand. 2 is being connected with the right people. And 3 is sharing good content, right? And this is applicable to Facebook and Instagram. 1, have a good profile for your Facebook or your Instagram. 2, have the right followers, have the right connections. 3 is share content that is going to appeal to your clients and your customers, right? So they're really the 3 fundamental things we need to know when it comes to building our brand, building our credibility, and getting leads, right? Because It doesn't matter what business, what service, what industry, what anything you come from. I can almost guarantee that every single business I speak to, the number one thing is lead generation. How do I get leads? How do I get leads? So getting leads is building a personal brand, right? It's about getting people to reach out to you. And then you don't necessarily, you've obviously, if you've got a team of people, like for example, Stacey, you're an astrologer, you need to share about information about, astrology and clients that you've worked with and testimonials and, who you are. And, when I think astrology, I think Stacey, right? So the only way you're going to create that is by sharing content to the cyber world about what you do and aligning yourself with that content, right? Because if you just put content out there and no one knows it's coming from Stacey, you're not going to build your personal brand, right? So it's really, really important to align the content with yourself. So let me just quickly go back to the share screen. Where are we? Okay, so if you do, so another really good tactic to get leads online, in particular on LinkedIn, is to actually follow up with people. So once someone has actually accepted you as like a connection on LinkedIn under your personal brand, you can actually follow them up with a message. So you can say, hi, I'm Stacey. Thank you for connecting with me. I am a Perth-based astrologist working with people, helping them with, X, Y, and Z. If you ever have any questions around this subject matter, please reach out to me, right? Simple as that. So don't feel afraid. You're not spamming anyone if you just say, thank you for connecting with me. This is who I am. This is what I do. If you have any questions, let me know, right? It's a simple meet and greet. The best way I look at social media, and not just LinkedIn, social media in general, it's a networking event online, right? So people say, oh, I don't want to connect with this person. I don't know this person. And my answer is always, if you don't want to walk up to that person at a networking event, then don't accept them on LinkedIn. But if you do want to walk up to a person at a networking event, then definitely accept them, right? So, you're not going to grow your network if you're just connecting with people that you know. You've got to have a criteria with who you want to connect with. So once you've connected with these people, once you've got a strong LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram brand, then you can start to connect with people, message people, engage with people, and grow your personal brand. So there's a few people that are really, really good at, strong, like we've mentioned before, personal brand. Would you do the same for new followers on Facebook, Instagram, Marco? Would you do the same? Absolutely. You can. Absolutely. So if you get new followers on Facebook and Instagram, you can say, hi, John, thank you. Thank you so much for connecting with me on thank you so much for following me on Instagram. We are X, Y, and Z. If you ever need any help, you can do that. Another thing you can do is you can say, if you've got like a free resource or something like that. So, let me have a look. So, you're in construction. So, was it construction, Marco? Yeah. So, you could do something like a guide to construction in 2022, or the 5 things every builder needs to know before, or something like that, right? Where you can actually send it to them and say, as a thank you for following me on Instagram, I would like to send you this free, downloadable book or something like that. So you can always give something to them. But absolutely, I think if you have the resources and the time, for me, I've chosen LinkedIn as my main platform because it has generated the most leads for me and it is most aligned with my demographic, right? So I still post on Facebook, I still post on Instagram, but if I was to say where I am more active, I would say LinkedIn, purely based on the fact that that's where my demographic is. So, going back to my, comment right at the beginning is know what your unique selling proposition is, know what problems you're solving for clients, and know who your clients are. Really important, because by being really clear on that, then you can obviously follow up with them and put more attention and energy into those platforms. So yeah, for me, definitely LinkedIn, but you can absolutely do the same thing on Facebook and LinkedIn, absolutely. And I think it's just showcasing a bit more of that, personal kind of brand, I guess, and going out of your way. So yeah, 100%. So I know we're running a little bit short on time. I'll just quickly get back to this. Yeah, so I'll quickly go to different kind of messages you can type. And I just want to also, this is something else I just really want to raise. Hi, Stacey. Stacey, I need to shoot off. Would it be okay to connect on LinkedIn and ask for some advice in regards to my business? I think you mean Sandra, but that's okay. Ramon, yes, you called me Stacey, unless you wanted to correct with Stacey. Oh, maybe it is Stacey. I'm not sure. Do you want astrology on your business or marketing? Okay. I was like, maybe you want an astrology reading on the direction of your business. Absolutely. Send me a LinkedIn request and we'll connect on there. So hey, maybe you could book us both in, Stacey for astrology and me on marketing. So all good. Thank you for joining, and definitely connect with me on LinkedIn and we can stay connected there. So yeah, in terms of messaging people, you know, on LinkedIn, there's a few different ways of messaging people. So, you know, I won't go too in depth with that today because I think, you know, we are a little bit limited on time, but I'll just quickly show you this screen here so you can have a look at the different, where am I? Too many things opened up. Here we go. Okay, so there are 4 different ways to message someone on LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. Custom connection request. So this is on LinkedIn in particular. If you are sending someone a connection request, you can say, hi, John, I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn because I can see we have a lot of personal connections in common. Or you can say, hi, John, I work with a lot of people in the construction industry. I would love to connect with you. Right. So a personal message is one way. The second one is when John has accepted you, you would say, hi, John, thank you so much for connecting with me on LinkedIn. My name is Sandra Tricoli. I'm a social media strategist. If you ever need any assistance with social media marketing or public relations, please feel free to reach out to me, and vice versa. I would love to hear a little bit more about your business, right? The third message is a lead message. So in business, I say that every successful business is a solution to someone else's problem. In the lead message, you need to identify what problems you can solve. So don't send all 4 messages. Choose 1 or 2 of these, not all 4. You wouldn't bombard someone with 4 messages. So a lead message would be, you know, hi, John, hope you're well. You know, I work with many construction businesses like yourself. I help them with their blah, 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 blah. You know, if you ever need any assistance with these services, please let me know. I look forward to hearing from you, right? And the 4th message is a booster message. This is important as most people will respond when they have a reminder. So if you've messaged 20 people and you haven't heard back, you can always say, hi, John, just following up to make sure you've received my previous message. Please let me know if you have any questions. You don't have to do that. Once again, it comes down to your personal style, your personal brand. Some people feel completely uncomfortable sending any messages at all. That's okay. You do what works well for you, right? I always say to people, you know, I can sit here and say, do this, do that, but if it doesn't align with you and your personal brand and what you believe in, what you want to do, don't do it. But this has worked. The one that's worked the most for me has been the 3rd message, which is basically me saying, hi, hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to take this opportunity to reach out to you. My name is Sandra. I work with businesses, helping them with their marketing, social media, and PR. If you ever need any of these services, I would be more than happy to jump on a call or catch up for a coffee. I look forward to hearing from you. Simple. And I leave it. And people don't sometimes reply. Sometimes people reply straight away. And I've had a lot of business from this message as well. So it all comes down to the way you write it and also the timing of when the person opens it up, because they might not need your services at that time. Okay, what to post on LinkedIn. I won't get into that too much. Here are some content ideas for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for Instagram: professional expertise and experiences, testimonials from clients, a tip of the week, share a blog you've written, share an article you've written, interview an industry leader, you know, ask a question, tell a story, share a project you're working on, and so on and so forth. So there's lots of different content ideas here. The secret is to, you know, honestly, you'll find if you post 10 posts this month, the one that you're in, like your personal photo that you're in talking about yourself, is the one that's going to get more engagement than anything else, right? Always works like that. So I highly recommend that you do that if possible. Try and have at least 50 to 60% of the content that you share, you are in that content. Quickly go here. I won't go too much. Oh yeah, I will say this though. So when you're posting, you know, when we're talking about personal branding and posting on social media, always write as if you are writing to one person, right? So when we're talking on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, emails, newsletters, always write as if you're writing to just one person. So don't say, hey guys, you want to say, hi, or hope you're having a great day. Write as if you're just writing to one other person. So this is actually applicable to all your social media platforms, to your emails, to your newsletters, to everywhere. Never write as if you're writing to 20 people. Always write as if you're writing to one person. So I am running a little bit short on time, and I'm not sure how many more how many more things I've got. But what I will do is I'll actually send you Marco and Stacey, and also Ramon. I'll send I'll send you a copy of the presentation now, so then you've got a few extra slides. It just tells you how often you should be posting, and best times to post and things like that. And like I mentioned, if you do need any further assistance or more one-on-one help, you can just let me know. I'll send you an email now with the presentation, and if you do need to book in a one-on-one, just let me know and I'll get my PA to give you a call and book you in. But other than that, I hope that's given you thank you so much, Stacey. I hope that's given you a bit of insight. So really, in a nutshell, personal branding is what people think when they think of you, when they think of your business. What are the top 5 or 10 words or things that come to mind? So before you go and start working on your personal brand, write down those words and sentences on a post-it or a piece of paper, and any content, anything you put out into the world, digitally or non-digitally, needs to align with those words, right? So it could be professional, it could be experienced, it could be marketing, it could be astrology, it could be construction, whatever it is. And whenever you're doing anything, right, on or offline, think to yourself, does this align with my personal brand, with these words that I've put out? So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed that, and I hopefully if you do need any assistance further, let me know. But wishing you a great day ahead, and a happy Australia Day for tomorrow. So stay safe, masks on, and it's been great to have you join me today. So thank you so much. Bye. Marco, yep, a professional photographer. So there's a few. I use this, who I use. But she's quite busy, so she might recommend you to someone else, but she's my photographer and she's fabulous. Arabella Blue Portraits. So if you Google Arabella Blue Portraits, she's the one that I use, and she's fabulous. But yeah, Google her. If she's too booked out, she'll probably have 1 or 2 other ones she can recommend, but she is my photographer. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a good day.